We all seek answers to life's most profound questions. What is the purpose of our existence? Where do we go after we leave this world? Among the most enduring of these questions is one that has captivated humanity for centuries: the truth about heaven. It is a concept that transcends cultures, religions, and time, with visions of a paradise filled with peace, love, and eternal joy. But the truth about heaven is not just a distant idea for us to ponder. It is a vision that has the power to shape the way we live today and the way we treat one another as we walk through this life. Heaven is not merely a destination, it is a call to action, a guiding light that reminds us of what is possible when we embrace love, kindness, and purpose in every moment. Today, let us not only reflect on heaven as a place or a promise, but consider how the truth about heaven can ignite a transformation in our hearts and lives right now. The truth about heaven, at its core, is not just about the afterlife, it is about how we choose to live in the here and now. The truth about heaven lies within us all. It's not a place we wait to reach after we pass from this world, but a vision we can carry with us each day. Too often we are caught up in the struggles of the present moment, distracted by the challenges, fears, and uncertainties that life throws our way. But what if we viewed our lives through the lens of heaven, recognizing that we are not just here to endure, but to thrive, to love, and to become our highest selves? The truth about heaven is that it is not merely a far-off place we can only dream of. It is a state of being, a state of heart and mind that we can choose to create in our lives. When we embrace the love, peace, and joy that heaven represents, we begin to transform our lives. Heaven is not only about where we go when we die, but how we live while we are alive. Imagine living in a world where kindness, compassion, and understanding are the rules, not the exceptions. Imagine a place where every person is valued, every soul is honored, and every life is respected. This is the truth of heaven, a world where we recognize the divine spark within ourselves and each other, a world where love reigns supreme. Heaven is not just about waiting for something good to happen. It is about making something good happen every single day. The truth about heaven challenges us to live with purpose. It asks us to rise above the struggles and pain of life and recognize that we are all part of something greater. It encourages us to live in a way that reflects the values of heaven: compassion, forgiveness, service, and grace. Heaven is not just a reward for those who do good in life. It is the result of living a life aligned with our highest values, a life that brings joy, healing, and peace to those around us. Heaven is not a faraway dream. It is a reality we can create through our actions, our choices, and the way we love. Heaven is a state of being. The concept of heaven is often depicted as a distant, ethereal place, an afterlife where peace, joy, and harmony reign. For many, it is a destination that lies beyond the physical world, a place where the struggles of life are left behind and eternal bliss is found. However, the deeper truth about heaven is that it is not just a destination we reach after death, but a state of being we can cultivate while we are still alive. Heaven is not merely a far-off dream. It is a way of living that transcends circumstances, a mindset and heart set that shapes our experiences and interactions with the world. To view heaven as a state of being is to understand that the peace and joy we seek are not necessarily found in external circumstances, but in our inner world. It is the way we choose to respond to life's challenges, the way we approach our relationships, and the way we express love, kindness, and compassion. Heaven is not simply something we wait for in the future. It is something we can create in the present moment. It's about being at peace within ourselves, embracing the essence of love, and choosing positivity over negativity, even in the face of adversity. The truth about heaven as a state of being is rooted in the power of the mind and spirit. How we perceive the world directly impacts how we experience it. When we choose to see the good in others, when we approach each day with gratitude, and when we choose love over fear, we begin to live in harmony with the divine energy that flows through us. We create an inner heaven where peace reigns, no matter the external circumstances. This state of being allows us to experience joy not as a fleeting emotion, but as a deep sense of contentment that comes from within. Furthermore, heaven as a state of being is reflected in the way we treat others. True heaven is not a solitary existence, but a shared experience. It manifests when we practice kindness, empathy, and understanding in our interactions. When we show love to others, whether through words, actions, or simply being present, we create an environment where peace and harmony can thrive. The more we live in alignment with compassion and respect, the more we contribute to building a collective heaven here on earth. Living in this state of being also means letting go of negative emotions such as anger, resentment, and hatred. These emotions keep us trapped in a cycle of suffering, preventing us from experiencing the joy and peace that heaven offers. To embody heaven is to practice forgiveness, to release the weight of grudges, and to choose to move forward with an open heart. It means understanding that true freedom and peace are found not in the absence of conflict, but in the ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and a sense of inner tranquility. In essence, heaven is not something we must wait to experience after death. It is a present reality that we can choose to live in every moment. By embracing heaven as a state of being, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we can create: peace, love, joy, and unity. This state of being transforms our lives and the world around us, reminding us that the true essence of heaven is not a place to be found in the future, but a way of living that can be embodied right now. Through our choices, our mindset, and the way we live each day, we have the power to create heaven here on earth. Heaven is a shared vision. Heaven is often envisioned as an individual experience, a personal paradise that one enters after death. However, the deeper truth is that heaven is not only a solitary vision, but a shared one, a collective dream that involves all of humanity. It is not simply a place where we go alone, but a state of being that thrives when we come together in unity, peace, and love. The vision of heaven is realized when we collectively embrace the values of compassion, kindness, and understanding, and work together to build a world where these qualities are the foundation of our lives. The idea that heaven is a shared vision suggests that the realization of peace, joy, and harmony requires more than the individual effort. It requires collaboration, cooperation, and mutual respect. Heaven is not just the result of personal salvation or success. It is the outcome of a community united by a common goal to uplift one another, to support each other, and to create a world that is just, fair, and loving. When we embrace this shared vision, we begin to see heaven not as a destination to be reached, but as a reality to be created in the here and now. One of the key aspects of heaven as a shared vision is the recognition of our interconnectedness. In a world where divisions of race, religion, gender, and class often separate us, it is easy to forget that we are all part of the same human family. Heaven, however, is about unity, about recognizing that every individual, regardless of background or circumstance, is deserving of love, respect, and dignity. The vision of heaven grows stronger when we understand that the well-being of one person is inextricably linked to the well-being of all. We are not isolated beings. We are all deeply connected. And the harmony we seek cannot be realized until we work together. This shared vision of heaven also calls us to transcend our differences and embrace diversity as a source of strength. Rather than allowing fear and misunderstanding to divide us, we are called to celebrate the uniqueness of each person and recognize the beauty in our differences. It is in this celebration of diversity that we find the richness of the human experience, where each culture, each tradition, and each perspective adds to the collective picture of heaven. Heaven is not a homogeneous place, but one filled with variety, color, and complexity, just as the world is when we come together with love and acceptance. In addition to unity, heaven as a shared vision requires us to work toward justice and equality for all. A world that embodies the principles of heaven is one where no one is left behind, where the vulnerable are protected, and where resources and opportunities are shared. It is a vision where the systems of oppression, racism, sexism, poverty, and inequality are dismantled and replaced by systems that uplift and empower every individual. The realization of heaven demands that we challenge and address the injustices that keep people trapped in cycles of suffering. And it calls us to build communities based on fairness, compassion, and love. Living in alignment with the shared vision of heaven requires us to move beyond self-interest and focus on the common good. This doesn't mean sacrificing our individual needs and desires, but rather recognizing that our true fulfillment is found when we contribute to the greater good of humanity. It means understanding that by helping others, by lifting up those in need, and by working toward a more just and compassionate world, we are also helping ourselves. The vision of heaven becomes stronger when we collectively strive to live in a way that benefits all people, not just a select few. Ultimately, heaven as a shared vision is about coming together as a global community to create a world that reflects our highest ideals. It is about living in harmony with one another and with the earth, respecting the dignity of all people, and working to create a future where peace, love, and justice prevail. This vision is not a distant dream, but something we can actively work toward every day in the choices we make, the actions we take, and the way we relate to others. The truth about heaven is that it is not just a place or a state of being for the individual. It is a vision that we all share, and it is only through our collective effort that we can bring it into existence. When we unite in love, respect, and compassion, we are creating heaven right here on earth. Living with purpose. Living with purpose is one of the most powerful and fulfilling ways to navigate through life. It's about aligning our actions with our deepest values, passions, and goals. When we live with purpose, every decision, every challenge, and every success becomes an opportunity to live a life that has meaning and direction. Purpose doesn't just give our lives a sense of accomplishment, it shapes the way we engage with the world around us and drives us to make a positive impact on others. At its core, living with purpose means being intentional with our actions. It requires us to reflect on who we are, what we value, and how we want to contribute to the world. It's easy to get caught up in the distractions of daily life, to go through the motions without thinking deeply about why we're doing what we're doing. But when we live without purpose, we often feel disconnected, unfulfilled, and aimless. Purpose, on the other hand, gives us direction. It is a guiding star that leads us toward the life we want to create, providing clarity and focus in moments of uncertainty. Living with purpose starts with self-awareness. It's about getting in touch with our innermost desires, recognizing what truly matters to us, and understanding what brings us joy and fulfillment. Sometimes discovering our purpose requires us to reflect on our past experiences, identify our strengths and weaknesses, and be honest about what makes us come alive. It's a process of self-discovery that might take time, but it's one of the most valuable investments we can make in our lives. When we understand what we are truly passionate about, we can begin to align our lives. Once we have clarity about our purpose, living with intention becomes easier. It's about setting goals that reflect our values and making choices that move us closer to our vision of the future. These goals don't need to be grand or monumental. They can be simple, everyday actions that support our larger purpose. For example, if our purpose is to help others, living with purpose may involve acts of kindness, volunteering, or using our skills to make a difference in someone's life. If our purpose is to grow as a person, it may involve seeking new experiences, challenging ourselves, and continually learning. Living with purpose also means living with resilience. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. When we encounter difficulties, it can be easy to lose sight of our purpose, especially when things feel overwhelming or discouraging. However, when we have a clear sense of purpose, it gives us the strength to persevere. Purpose becomes the driving force that helps us navigate through tough times, reminding us that our struggles have meaning and that we are capable of overcoming them. It's through adversity that our purpose becomes even more important, because it pushes us to dig deeper into our inner strength and resilience. Moreover, living with purpose allows us to live more fully and authentically. It means we are not living according to someone else's expectations or trying to fit into a mold that doesn't align with who we truly are. When we live authentically, we are able to show up as our truest selves, bringing our unique gifts and talents to the world. It's not about following a prescribed path or measuring success by societal standards. It's about being true to who we are and honoring the path that feels right for us. Another powerful aspect of living with purpose is the impact it has on the world around us. When we live with purpose, we not only create a fulfilling life for ourselves, but we also inspire and uplift others. Our actions, whether big or small, have a ripple effect. By living authentically, we become role models for others who may be searching for their own sense of purpose. We become beacons of hope, demonstrating that it is possible to live a life that is meaningful and aligned with one's values. As we share our purpose with others, we create a community of like-minded individuals who can support one another in their journeys. In conclusion, living with purpose is not just about achieving personal goals. It's about creating a life that reflects our core values, contributes to the well-being of others, and leaves a lasting legacy. It's about being intentional, resilient, and authentic in every aspect of our lives. When we live with purpose, we are not just passing through life, we are actively shaping it, living with clarity, meaning, and fulfillment. Purpose is the foundation upon which we can build a life that matters, a life that inspires and empowers others to do the same. It's the key to living not just a successful life, but a meaningful one.